In a world that incessantly demands our attention, our reactions, and our every thought to be laid bare for public consumption, there exists an ancient, quiet wisdom. A wisdom that whispers of a different path, one of profound inner strength, resilience, and unshakable peace. We're constantly encouraged to share, to broadcast, to live transparently in a digital age where every fleeting moment can be captured and disseminated. But what if, in this relentless pursuit of external validation and connection, we've forgotten the immense power of internal cultivation? What if some of the most vital aspects of our lives, our growth and our well-being, are best kept, not hidden in shame or deceit, but protected as sacred trusts within ourselves? For centuries, the great Stoic philosophers understood this paradox. They recognized that while connection is essential, true strength and tranquility often flourish in the fertile ground of our own minds, away from the constant noise and judgment of the world outside. They taught that there are certain secrets, not of malice or manipulation, but of self-preservation and profound inner development, that when guarded, empower us rather than diminish us. These are the quiet virtues, the unannounced intentions, the private battles, and the sacred confidences that define our character and shape our destiny more profoundly than any public declaration ever could. Today, we invite you to embark on a reflective journey, guided by the timeless principles of Stoicism, to uncover these 7 profound secrets. They are not about living in isolation, but about cultivating a rich, robust inner life that makes your engagement with the world more meaningful, more resilient, and ultimately more fulfilling. Prepare to discover what true personal sovereignty looks like in an age that often seeks to strip it away. Greetings, thoughtful souls, and welcome to a space dedicated to exploring the profound wisdom that endures through the ages. In our fast-paced modern existence, where external pressures and the clamor for constant communication can feel overwhelming, many of us find ourselves yearning for a deeper sense of peace, clarity, and genuine happiness. We seek ways to navigate life's inevitable challenges, not just with fleeting resilience, but with an enduring sense of calm and purpose. This is precisely where the timeless philosophy of Stoicism offers invaluable guidance. It's not about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent. Rather, it's about mastering our internal world, understanding what is within our control and what is not, and cultivating virtues that lead to a life well lived. Today, we're delving into a particularly insightful facet of Stoic thought: the understanding that certain aspects of our lives, when kept private and nurtured within, contribute immensely to our overall well-being and strength. This isn't about fostering secrecy in a negative sense, but about discerning what truly serves our tranquility, our integrity, and our growth, versus what merely adds to external noise or opens us up to unnecessary vulnerability. We'll explore 7 such secrets, principles that, when embraced, allow us to build an unshakable fortress of mind, enabling us to face life's storms with greater serenity and wisdom. If you find these reflections resonate with your desire for a more powerful, peaceful, and happy mind, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel. By joining our community, you'll gain access to more videos designed to deepen your understanding of these enduring principles, helping you cultivate a life of purpose and profound inner calm. Let's begin our exploration of what true inner sovereignty entails. We find ourselves living in an era that is, in many ways, unprecedented in its demands. From the moment we open our eyes to the constant glow of screens, we are bombarded with a singular, often unspoken expectation: share everything. Our triumphs, our daily routines, our innermost thoughts, even our moments of vulnerability are often curated and broadcast across digital landscapes. Social media platforms, the very fabric of modern connection, are designed to encourage this relentless externalization. We see endless feeds of perfectly crafted lives, daily updates on friends and strangers' every move, and a pervasive culture that equates visibility with validity. There's an undeniable, almost gravitational pull to participate in this grand public performance, to ensure our lives are seen, liked, and commented upon. But what is the true cost of this constant transparency? What happens to our inner landscape when we are perpetually focused on the outward presentation? The challenge we face today is multifaceted and deeply impactful, particularly for those of us who have lived long enough to remember a time before this pervasive digital gaze. This relentless externalization often leads to anxiety, a gnawing sense that we are never quite enough if our lives aren't being perpetually validated by others. It fosters a comparison trap, where we constantly measure our own complex realities against the idealized highlight reels of others, inevitably falling short. Moreover, this oversharing can lead to a profound dissipation of our internal energy. Every thought, every nascent idea, every private struggle, when immediately thrown into the public arena, loses some of its potency. It can dilute our resolve, inviting unsolicited criticism or well-meaning but ultimately unhelpful advice before our plans have even had a chance to fully form. When our self-worth becomes tethered to external validation, to the number of likes, the flattering comments, the viral reach, we cede control of our emotional well-being to unpredictable forces. A sudden lack of engagement, a negative comment, or simply the fleeting nature of online attention can send ripples of self-doubt through our minds, undermining the very stability we seek. Consider also the erosion of personal boundaries and the sanctity of private thought. In this hyper-connected world, the lines between what is personal and what is public have become increasingly blurred. The quiet space needed for reflection, for processing emotions, for nurturing ambitions in their fragile early stages, is often invaded by the perceived need to perform and inform. This constant pressure can prevent us from truly understanding ourselves, from developing a robust inner dialogue, and from building the deep intrinsic sense of self-worth that is independent of external accolades. We become vulnerable not only to external judgment, but also to the fickle opinions of others, allowing their reactions to dictate our emotional states. The Stoics, though living in a vastly different world, grappled with similar human tendencies toward external validation and the noise of public opinion. They understood that true tranquility, ataraxia, and virtue, arete, could only be cultivated by mastering one's internal world. They saw the dangers of allowing external events and others' judgments to dictate one's peace of mind. Their teachings provide a powerful counter-narrative to our modern predicament, inviting us to reclaim our inner fortress. They urge us to discern what truly serves our growth and our well-being, and what merely adds to the endless, often meaningless, noise. The challenge, then, is to consciously choose a path of intentional self-preservation, to guard those aspects of ourselves that are too precious, too personal, or too powerful to be scattered indiscriminately. It is a call to cultivate discretion, to value inner contentment over outward display, and to find strength not in broadcasting, but in the quiet, deliberate work of building a resilient and virtuous mind. This is the profound shift we aim to explore, moving from reactive sharing to intentional safeguarding. The 7 Stoic Secrets to Inner Sovereignty. Having explored the pervasive challenge of oversharing in our modern world, we now turn our attention to the heart of Stoic wisdom. The ancients understood that true mastery isn't found in controlling external events, but in diligently managing our internal landscape. This section will delve into 7 specific aspects of our lives and minds that, when guarded with discernment and cultivated in quiet strength, become powerful pillars of our well-being. These are not secrets in the clandestine sense, but rather sacred internal domains that, according to Stoic principles, are best protected from undue external influence or premature exposure. By understanding and embracing these boundaries, we move from being reactive participants in a noisy world to proactive architects of our own peace of mind, resilience, and virtue. Each secret offers a profound opportunity for self-mastery, guiding us toward a more intentional and fulfilling existence. Secret Chapter 1: Your Future Plans and Ambitions. The first profound secret to guard, according to Stoic wisdom, is the nascent flame of your future plans and ambitions. In a world that often urges immediate declaration, a public commitment before even the first step is taken, the Stoics offer a counterintuitive yet deeply powerful approach: the quiet cultivation of your intentions. Consider how often we're prompted to announce our resolutions, our new ventures, our grand dreams on social media or in eager conversations. While this can sometimes generate external accountability, it often comes at a significant cost, precisely what the Stoics aimed to mitigate. When you prematurely broadcast your plans, you immediately expose them to the unsolicited opinions, criticisms, and doubts of others. Even well-meaning advice can, at this fragile stage, dilute your own conviction. It allows external narratives to seep into the very foundation of your internal resolve, potentially leading to self-doubt before you've even truly begun. Seneca, a master of Stoic thought, understood the power of focused, unannounced effort. He implicitly knew that excessive talk about an undertaking can often substitute for the actual work required. The energy expended in verbalizing your grand designs is energy diverted from the quiet, diligent effort necessary to bring those designs to fruition. Furthermore, declaring your ambitions prematurely ties your sense of accomplishment, even before any tangible result, to external validation. If you announce a new fitness goal, a career change, or a personal project, and then don't immediately receive the desired positive feedback, or worse, face skepticism, it can deflate your motivation. The Stoic path emphasizes deriving our sense of worth and satisfaction from our virtuous efforts and intentions, not from the applause or approval of others. By keeping your plans close, you empower yourself to pursue them for your own intrinsic reasons, unburdened by the pressure to perform for an audience. This isn't about being secretive in a deceptive way, but about strategic discretion. It's about understanding the delicate nature of nascent ideas and the focus required for execution. Think of a seed planted in rich soil. It needs quiet darkness, undisturbed by external forces, to sprout and establish strong roots. Only when it has grown into a sturdy sapling is it ready to face the elements. Similarly, your ambitions need time and space to mature. free from the constant scrutiny and commentary that can stunt their growth. By guarding your future plans, you also cultivate patience and perseverance. The quiet work of planning, preparing, and executing builds genuine momentum. When your actions eventually speak louder than any words ever could, the impact is far more profound. This approach fosters a deep sense of self-reliance. Your progress becomes a testament to your own internal discipline and commitment, rather than a response to external expectations. It allows you to adapt and pivot your strategies without feeling the pressure of public consistency. The Stoic encourages you to value the inner conviction to act, rather than the external fanfare of announcing, "Let your achievements be the revelation, not your aspirations." This cultivates a powerful, grounded presence, where your actions truly define you, not your pronouncements. Secret 2. Your acts of charity and kindness. The second profound secret to guard, flowing directly from the wellspring of Stoic virtue, is the quiet nobility of your acts of charity and kindness. In a world where performing good deeds often goes hand in hand with public recognition, awards, or social media posts, the Stoics offer a starkly different and profoundly more virtuous perspective. True benevolence is its own reward, and its purity is often diminished by the pursuit of external acclaim. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, encapsulated this principle beautifully when he wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." While this speaks to forgiveness, it also subtly points to the intrinsic nature of virtue. Similarly, the purest acts of kindness are those performed not for the audience, but for the inherent good of the act itself, and for the internal satisfaction it brings. When we trumpet our generosity, when we publicize our charitable contributions, or when we highlight every small act of kindness we perform, it subtly transforms the act from a selfless virtue into a performance. The motive shifts, even if unconsciously, from pure altruism to seeking praise, recognition, or validation. This doesn't mean we should never encourage or inspire others to be charitable. Indeed, leading by example is powerful. However, the Stoic emphasis is on the internal disposition from which the act springs. When the act becomes a means to an external end, a boost to our reputation, a badge of moral superiority, or simply a collection of likes, its true virtue is inevitably diluted. The inner reward, the deep satisfaction of having contributed positively to the world without expectation of return, is a far more powerful and enduring source of contentment. This secret satisfaction enriches the soul rather than merely inflating the ego. Consider the concept of inner harmony and integrity. When our kindness is performed quietly, it reinforces a consistent moral character. There is no discrepancy between our private intentions and our public actions. This builds a powerful sense of self-respect and authenticity. We are kind because it is the right thing to do, because it aligns with our values of human connection and compassion, not because we anticipate a public pat on the back. This aligns with the Stoic principle that virtue is its own reward. It is pursued for its own sake, not for external benefits or accolades. Furthermore, publicizing acts of kindness can sometimes inadvertently put the recipient in an awkward position or even strip them of their dignity. True charity seeks to alleviate suffering and offer support, often quietly and respectfully. The focus should be on the recipient's benefit, not the giver's glorification. By keeping these acts private, we cultivate a deeper sense of humility, a virtue highly prized by the Stoics. We acknowledge that our capacity for kindness is a human responsibility, not a performance to be applauded. In an age obsessed with personal branding and public image, guarding your acts of kindness becomes an act of rebellion against superficiality. It reinforces the idea that what truly defines us are our inner motivations and our consistent character, not the curated outward appearance. It cultivates a profound internal sense of purpose and contentment that is immune to the fleeting nature of public opinion. Let your benevolence be a private conversation between you and your conscience, a silent testament to your commitment to virtue, and a profound source of your own enduring tranquility. Secret 3. Your personal struggles and imperfections, unless seeking wise counsel. The third profound secret, one that demands considerable discernment, is the guarding of your deepest personal struggles and perceived imperfections. In contemporary culture, there's a strong emphasis on vulnerability and sharing your truth, which indeed has its place in building genuine connection and destigmatizing difficult experiences. However, the Stoics would urge a nuanced approach, understanding that indiscriminately broadcasting every internal battle can inadvertently hinder our progress and even seek external validation for our suffering rather than internal fortitude. While healthy self-expression and seeking support from trusted individuals are vital for mental well-being, constantly exposing raw internal turmoil to a wide audience can lead to several stoically problematic outcomes. Firstly, it can turn our struggles into a performance for pity or attention. Instead of processing the difficulty with reason and courage, we might unconsciously seek external sympathy, which, while comforting in the short term, does little to cultivate our inherent resilience. The Stoics advocate for facing our challenges head-on, in the quiet chambers of our own minds first, applying reason and virtue to understand and overcome them. Secondly, oversharing imperfections can open us up to unhelpful or even harmful commentary. Not everyone offers constructive criticism, and many are quick to judge. Exposing our vulnerabilities indiscriminately makes us susceptible to external opinions that can further erode our self-worth, rather than empowering us to address our flaws. Epictetus advised, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things." This implies that our journey of self-improvement is primarily an internal one, not one dictated by public perception. The Stoic path encourages us to distinguish between things within our control and things outside our control. Our internal struggles, our reactions to adversity, and our efforts to improve ourselves are largely within our control. Seeking external validation for these internal processes puts control back into the hands of others. The strength found in overcoming challenges quietly builds genuine inner resilience, a fortitude that comes from within, not from external affirmation. This isn't about stoicism in the common, rigid sense of suppressing emotions. Rather, it's about processing them deliberately and constructively before they overwhelm us or are unduly influenced by external noise. This secret applies most keenly to the initial stages of grappling with a difficulty. Give yourself the space to feel, to reflect, and to apply your reason. Only when you have a clearer understanding of the issue and when you are seeking specific, constructive counsel should you consider sharing. The key is wise counsel, sharing with a trusted mentor, a therapist, or a truly empathetic friend who can offer genuine support and perspective, not just a sympathetic ear for venting without a path forward. By guarding these personal struggles, you cultivate a profound sense of self-reliance and internal agency. You learn to trust your own capacity for resilience and problem-solving. This practice strengthens your inner resolve, making you less dependent on external validation for your emotional well-being. It allows you to own your narrative, to process your experiences in a way that truly serves your growth, rather than shaping them for public consumption. The Stoic seeks not to avoid pain or imperfection, but to confront it with wisdom and courage, primarily within the sanctuary of their own mind, emerging stronger and more self-possessed. Secret 4. Others' secrets or confidences entrusted to you. The fourth vital secret to guard is not your own, but a sacred trust. The confidences shared with you by others. This principle lies at the very heart of integrity, reliability, and the building of genuine, deep human connections. In an age where gossip can spread like wildfire and personal information is often carelessly exchanged, the Stoic perspective on guarding others' secrets stands as a powerful testament to character. Epictetus, in his discourses, stressed the importance of controlling our impressions and reactions, but also implicitly understood the virtue of discretion. He might not have spoken directly about secrets in the modern sense, but his emphasis on what is truly within our power, our thoughts, our judgments, and our actions, extends profoundly to how we handle information entrusted to us. If someone shares a vulnerability, a personal struggle, a dream, or a piece of sensitive information with you, they are effectively offering you a piece of their trust. To betray that trust, even subtly through casual gossip or unintentional disclosure, is to erode your own integrity and damage the very fabric of genuine human connection. A Stoic understands that true character is built not on what we merely profess, but on how we consistently act, especially in private moments or when faced with temptation. The temptation to share a juicy piece of gossip, to feel in the know, or to elevate oneself by revealing another's confidence can be powerful. However, succumbing to this impulse is a profound weakness, demonstrating a lack of discipline over one's impulses and a disregard for another's well-being. It shows that your desire for fleeting social currency outweighs your commitment to reliability and respect. Guarding another's secret is a practice in self-control and virtuous action. It strengthens your resolve, demonstrates your trustworthiness, and reinforces your commitment to being a person of honor. When you consistently prove yourself to be a safe harbor for others' confidences, you cultivate a reputation not just as someone who can keep a secret, but as someone who embodies prudence, integrity, and empathy. These are virtues highly prized by the Stoics, foundational to living a life of purpose and moral excellence. Furthermore, betraying a confidence rarely benefits anyone involved and often causes significant harm to the person whose secret is revealed, to the relationship, and to your own peace of mind. The guilt and potential fallout from such an act can far outweigh any momentary gratification of sharing. The Stoic seeks tranquility, and tranquility is born from acting in alignment with reason and virtue, not from indulging in fleeting impulses that lead to regret. This secret also extends beyond formal confidences to the general principle of not speaking ill of others or spreading negativity. Seneca advised, "Let us withdraw to our own company, for no one is able to lie for a long time." The focus should always be on what is within our control, our own thoughts, words, and actions. Spreading rumors or negativity about others contaminates our own minds and diminishes our own character, regardless of the truth of the statements. By diligently guarding the secrets and confidences entrusted to you, you are not only respecting others, but profoundly respecting yourself. You are cultivating the virtues of loyalty, discretion, and reliability, becoming a person of substance and trustworthiness. This practice aligns perfectly with the Stoic pursuit of a virtuous life, where your word is your bond and your character is your most valuable possession. Secret 5. Your internalized pain or grief. Initial stages. The fifth profound secret, one that touches upon the deepest wells of human experience, is the guarding of your raw, internalized pain or grief, particularly in its initial stages. This isn't about suppressing emotions or denying their existence. The Stoics were never proponents of emotional numbness. Instead, it's about understanding the delicate process of healing and growth, and the wisdom of providing yourself with a safe, private space to acknowledge and process profound suffering before exposing it fully to the external world. When hit by sudden loss, deep disappointment, or intense emotional pain, our initial instinct might be to immediately seek solace or understanding from others. While external support is undeniably crucial in the long run, the Stoic perspective suggests that the immediate raw impact of grief or pain needs an initial period of internal processing. To expose these fresh, open wounds too soon to the scrutiny, well-meaning as it may be, or perhaps even the inappropriate commentary of others, can hinder your private journey of acceptance and resilience. Consider the Stoic emphasis on what is within our control. Our immediate emotional reactions, while powerful, are not always rational or constructive. The Stoic path encourages us to acknowledge the pain, to truly feel it, but then to quickly engage our faculty of reason to understand its nature, to identify what aspects are truly within our control, our reactions, our thoughts about the event, and what are not, the external event itself. This internal work requires a degree of solitude and introspection. When we immediately externalize raw pain, we can inadvertently seek pity or validation for our suffering rather than empowering ourselves to cultivate inner fortitude and acceptance. This doesn't mean enduring suffering in isolation. Rather, it means giving yourself the sanctuary of your own mind to grapple with the initial shock and emotional turbulence. It's about creating a space where you can experience your emotions without the added pressure of performing them for others or managing their reactions. This allows for a more authentic and unhindered internal dialogue, where you can begin the vital work of distinguishing between the external event, which is indifferent, and your internal judgment of it, which determines your suffering. By guarding your initial grief or pain, you cultivate emotional self-sufficiency and deep resilience. You learn to trust your own capacity to navigate difficult emotions, to find your internal compass even when feeling adrift. This strengthens your ability to cope with adversity, knowing that you possess the inner resources to face even the most challenging circumstances. It allows you to arrive at a place of greater understanding and acceptance before seeking external comfort, making that external comfort more meaningful and less about merely venting. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to pain is about facing reality with courage and reason. It's about not allowing external circumstances to dictate our inner peace. By allowing ourselves this initial private period of processing, we strengthen our mental fortitude, solidify our understanding of what is truly within our power, and build a more robust, self-reliant spirit. Give yourself the grace and the space to feel, to reflect, and to begin the quiet work of healing before inviting the world into your deepest wounds. This thoughtful approach leads to more profound and enduring recovery. Secret 6. Your opinions on others' flaws or mistakes. The sixth powerful secret, one that demands constant vigilance and self-awareness, is to guard your opinions and judgments on others' flaws or mistakes. In our daily interactions, it is all too easy to observe the shortcomings of those around us. A colleague's inefficiency, a friend's questionable decision, a family member's frustrating habit. The immediate inclination might be to voice these criticisms, to correct, to gossip, or simply to mentally dissect their imperfections. However, the Stoics offer a profoundly liberating alternative, redirecting that critical gaze inward. Marcus Aurelius, known for his deep introspection, famously wrote, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. For by looking at them, you will forget your anger and learn to deal with others with greater gentleness and understanding." This encapsulates the core of this secret. The energy expended in perpetually finding fault with others, in privately or publicly criticizing their actions, is not only unproductive, but actively detrimental to our own inner peace and moral development. Constant criticism, even if unspoken, fills your own mind with negativity, judgment, and often a sense of superiority. This creates internal discord, preventing the cultivation of tranquility and empathy. It binds your mental state to the external actions of others, effectively making your peace of mind contingent on their perceived perfection, which is entirely outside your control. The Stoic constantly reminds us that our only true domain of control lies within our own thoughts, judgments, and actions. What others do or fail to do is fundamentally external and therefore beyond our direct influence. By guarding your opinions on others' flaws, you are practicing mindfulness and discretion. You are choosing to direct your cognitive efforts towards self-improvement rather than external condemnation. This fosters a profound sense of humility, recognizing that we all have our own struggles and imperfections. It allows for a more compassionate understanding of human nature, acknowledging that everyone is doing the best they can with the understanding and resources they possess at any given moment. Furthermore, publicly or even privately fixating on others' faults often leads to unnecessary conflict and strained relationships. While constructive feedback has its place in specific contexts, like a direct report at work, pervasive criticism generally alienates people and creates resentment. A Stoic strives for equanimity and social harmony, understanding that our interactions should ideally foster goodwill and mutual respect, not judgment and division. This secret is about cultivating moral integrity and mental discipline. It's about training your mind to focus on what you can change, your own character, your own reactions, your own virtues, rather than dwelling on what you cannot. It means resisting the immediate impulse to judge and instead practicing empathy and understanding. When we choose to not broadcast or even internally harbor harsh judgments of others, we free up immense mental space. This space can then be filled with more constructive thoughts, with gratitude, with plans for our own improvement, and with a genuine appreciation for the inherent dignity of all human beings. In essence, by guarding your opinions on others' flaws, you are engaging in an act of profound self-care. You are protecting your own mind from the corrosive effects of negativity and judgment, and instead nurturing a disposition of tolerance, compassion, and internal calm. This practice is a cornerstone of living a truly virtuous and tranquil life in perfect alignment with Stoic ideals. Secret 7. Your wealth or possessions, especially for ostentation. The seventh and final profound secret to guard, a subtle but deeply impactful Stoic principle, relates to your wealth and possessions, particularly the temptation for ostentatious display. In a society that often equates material accumulation with success, happiness, and status, the Stoics offered a radically different perspective. True wealth lies not in what you own, but in who you are and in your capacity for virtue and tranquility. This isn't to say that having wealth or possessions is inherently bad. The Stoics were pragmatic. They understood that external goods could be preferred in difference, useful tools that could facilitate a virtuous life. However, the danger arises when we become attached to them, when our sense of self-worth becomes intertwined with our material holdings, or when we use them primarily for public display and validation. The act of ostentatiously displaying wealth, whether through extravagant purchases, lavish lifestyles, or constant showcasing, often invites several undesirable outcomes, both for ourselves and for others. Firstly, public displays of wealth can inevitably invite envy, resentment, or superficial admiration. Those who envy your possessions may harbor negative feelings towards you, disturbing your own peace. Those who admire you solely for your material status are not truly connected to your character, and their admiration is fleeting and conditional. The Stoic seeks genuine connection and respect, earned through virtuous conduct, not through external indicators of prosperity. Secondly, tying your identity to your possessions makes you incredibly vulnerable to external circumstances. Possessions can be lost, stolen, or devalue. If your sense of worth is derived from them, then their loss or depreciation can lead to immense distress. The Stoics relentlessly taught that true happiness and worth must be derived from what is within our control, our character, our judgments, and our actions, which cannot be taken away by fortune's whims. By not making a spectacle of your wealth, you reinforce your understanding that your true value lies beyond the material. Thirdly, the pursuit of ostentation often leads to a never-ending cycle of desire. Once you display one level of wealth, there's a pressure to maintain or exceed that display, leading to a constant craving for more. This is a direct antithesis to Stoic contentment and freedom from external desires. Seneca warned against the endless pursuit of external goods, understanding that true richness is found in having what you need and being content with it. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. By choosing to guard your wealth and possessions from public display, you cultivate humility, contentment, and a deeper appreciation for intrinsic value. You affirm that your character, your wisdom, your relationships, and your inner peace are far more significant than any material asset. You demonstrate that your sense of abundance comes from within, from your virtues and your ability to live in harmony with nature and reason, rather than from external accumulations. Let your character, your actions, and your quiet contribution to the world be your most visible attributes. This practice reinforces the Stoic principle that true wealth is an internal abundance of virtue, wisdom, and tranquility, a treasure that is immune to the caprices of fortune. By detaching your identity from material displays, you achieve a profound freedom and a genuine sense of self-worth that is unshakable. The unveiling, your inner citadel unconquered. We have journeyed through the quiet corridors of Stoic wisdom, exploring the 7 profound secrets that are, in essence, invitations to cultivate a richer, more resilient inner life. We've seen how guarding our nascent plans allows them to mature without external interference, how silent acts of kindness purify our intentions, and how discerning when to share our struggles builds genuine fortitude. We've reflected on the sacred trust of others' confidences, the necessity of processing initial grief internally, the liberating power of withholding judgment, and the profound freedom that comes from detaching our worth from material displays. Now, as we stand at this crucial turning point, it's vital to grasp the true essence of this wisdom. This isn't a call to isolation or to a life of emotional suppression. Far from it. The Stoics were deeply engaged with the world, participants in society and champions of living virtuously amongst others. What they meticulously taught us, and what these secrets powerfully underscore, is the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. The problem we initially identified, the relentless pressure to externalize and overshare, fundamentally pulls us away from this core Stoic principle. When we live our lives primarily for external validation, for the applause of the crowd, or for the fleeting affirmation of digital likes, we effectively cede our inner sovereignty. We hand over the keys to our peace of mind to external forces, to the fickle opinions of others, to circumstances beyond our direct influence. This is where true vulnerability lies, not in shared emotion, but in the abdication of our internal authority. The secrets we've discussed are not about hiding who you are. They are about protecting the integrity of your inner self. They are about consciously choosing to build an unshakable inner citadel, a fortress of mind where reason, virtue, and tranquility reside unassailed by the external chaos. When you choose to guard your plans, you are nurturing your own agency. When you perform kindness in silence, you are cultivating pure virtue. When you process pain internally, you are forging resilience. When you protect confidences, you are cementing your integrity. When you withhold judgment, you are fostering compassion and inner calm. And when you detach from ostentatious display, you are embracing true contentment. This is the key moment of understanding. Your power lies not in broadcasting every facet of your being, but in discerning what truly serves your highest self. It is in the deliberate act of withholding, not out of fear, but out of strength and wisdom. It is in recognizing that the deepest work, the most profound growth, often happens in the quiet, unseen spaces of your own consciousness. When you are less reactive to external validation, when your sense of worth comes from within, you become impervious to the slings and arrows of fortune. You gain an unconquered spirit. This wisdom empowers you to live with greater intentionality. You act not because of external pressure, but because it aligns with your carefully considered values. You speak not because you crave attention, but because your words carry genuine purpose. You become a person of substance, grounded in your own convictions, rather than a reflection of external expectations. This inner freedom, this profound sense of self-possession, is the ultimate reward for cultivating these quiet virtues. It is the very essence of Stoic flourishing. Conclusion. We've now explored 7 profound Stoic secrets, not things to hide in shame, but aspects of ourselves to guard and cultivate for profound inner strength and tranquility. Let's briefly recap these quiet guardians of our spirit. Your nascent plans, nurtured away from premature judgment, your acts of silent kindness, performed for virtue's sake alone. Your initial struggles and imperfections, processed internally for genuine resilience. The sacred confidences entrusted to you by others, held with unwavering integrity. Your internalized pain or grief, given space to heal before public exposure. Your opinions on others' flaws, redirected inward for self-improvement. And finally, your wealth or possessions, kept from ostentatious display to foster true contentment. The essence of these secrets lies in a powerful truth. What we choose not to broadcast can be far more empowering than what we do. In an age that often pressures us to externalize every thought and feeling, the Stoics offer a liberating alternative. They invite us to reclaim our inner landscape, to discern wisely what serves our peace and growth, and what merely adds to the external noise. By embracing these principles, you are not retreating from the world, but rather fortifying your mind, making it more resilient to the inevitable challenges and external pressures of life. This is the very heart of Stoic self-mastery. It's about building an unshakable fortress of mind, where your peace and sense of worth are derived from your own reasoned judgments and virtuous actions, rather than from the fleeting opinions or circumstances of others. When you master what you reveal and what you protect, you gain an authentic freedom, a profound sense of self-possession that no external force can diminish. This practice doesn't make you distant. It makes you grounded, intentional, and truly authentic. It allows you to engage with the world from a place of inner calm and strength, making your interactions more meaningful and your contributions more impactful. As we conclude our exploration of these 7 profound Stoic secrets, I hope you feel a renewed sense of empowerment, a clearer path towards inner peace, resilience, and genuine happiness. These principles aren't just ancient philosophies, they are timeless tools, deeply relevant for navigating the complexities of our modern lives. They are invitations to reclaim your mind, to build an inner world that is impervious to external chaos, and to truly live a life of purpose and virtue. This journey into Stoicism, however, is just beginning. The wisdom of the ancients offers an endless wellspring of insights, ready to transform your approach to challenges, relationships, and self-mastery. If today's discussion resonated with you, if you found value in exploring what it means to cultivate a powerful and tranquil mind, I warmly invite you to continue this journey with us. I encourage you to explore the other videos here on the Stoic Philosophy YouTube channel. Each one is crafted to offer practical wisdom and thoughtful reflections that can help you strengthen your mind, find deeper calm, and lead a more fulfilling life. To ensure you don't miss any future insights and continue to build your inner citadel, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It's a simple step that connects you to a growing community dedicated to timeless wisdom. And if you found this video particularly meaningful, consider sharing it with someone who might also benefit from its message. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today, for opening your mind to these profound ideas. May your path ahead be filled with clarity, fortitude, and an ever-deepening sense of inner peace.